What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about some drills that most wide receivers cannot do. So these drills are going to help you guys with your route running, your press releases, and all facets of the wide receiver position. Let's get started. So fellas, this first drill is going to help wide receivers with explosion in and out of their cuts, more specifically cuts where they have to cut off of one foot. So let's use the example of like a post route first, and then we'll talk about this drill and why this drill is so challenging for a lot of different receivers. So let's say I'm running a post route, got a DB on my outside hip, quarterback's over here to my right, so I'm trying to break in this direction. When I cut off of my left foot, I don't want to just cut to cut and then pop up. What I want to do is I want to cut to push and to be able to separate from the DB. So this drill kind of works on having that push off of the middle arch and ball of your foot. So you need 2 cones for this drill, super simple drill, and these cones are going to be spaced out maybe about like 2.5 yards apart. So you're going to start on one foot. I would like you guys to work about 5 sets of this on each foot. So starting 5 sets with the right foot and then starting 5 sets on the left foot. So all you're going to do is you're going to simply just jump up on the single foot. As soon as this foot lands, and we'll show a full speed example of this in a second, you're going to push laterally to the green cone. As soon as your foot hits the ground on the green cone, you're going to jump up and stick the landing. That is where receivers struggle. There's a lot of receivers struggle with ankle stability. So what happens is when they land, their ankle starts to cave inward and their knee caves inward, and they can't physically hold that position. So this drill works on that explosion in and out of your cuts, and it also works on ankle stability and balance, which are all pivotal to the wide receiver position when it comes down to making a cut. So we're going to show this full speed. Remember, you want to do about 5 to 6 reps of this on the right foot, then 5 to 6 reps where you start on the left foot, up, out, jump up. As soon as your foot hits the ground, that is that trigger to be able to either jump laterally or jump vertically. Now, fellas, before we show you that drill full speed, if you are a wide receiver or a quarterback watching this and you would like to train with myself and my staff of coaches this offseason, we're traveling out to 15 different cities across the entire country for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps. So guys, if you would like to sign up to work with myself and my staff, go to that very first link in the description below. That is where you can find all the information. Our next camp is going to be in San Francisco, California. Then we'll be coming out to Orlando, Florida. After that, Phoenix, Arizona. And all 3 of those camps, you guys, only have about 5 to 6 spots remaining. So those camps will sell out here within the next week. So make sure you take advantage of the fact that we have open spots if you are local to one of those cities. Then after that, we'll be coming out to Columbia, South Carolina. Then we'll be coming to Seattle, Washington, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Nashville, Tennessee, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Austin, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, Denver, Colorado, Columbus, Ohio, Boston, Massachusetts, Salt Lake City, Utah, and finishing it off in Los Angeles, California. So guys, want to sign up, want to work with us, very first link in that description below. That's where you can get all the information. Now this next drill, fellas, is going to be called our red light, green light drill, or you can consider this a run and drop drill. That's the terminology that I use, but I've heard other coaches call this a red light, green light drill. But essentially, you don't need any equipment, you don't need any cones, you just need like about 20 to 30 yards of open space, open grass where you could actually sprint and run and be able to throttle down and change direction using your hips. So this helps wide receivers on routes like curls, comebacks, a dig, a 5-yard hitch, anything where you got to break down and drop your hips to be able to decelerate. So this is a drill that will get rid of something called indicators on your route. And this is why so many receivers struggle with this, because they have so many indicators when they run their route. So what is an indicator? An indicator is something that tells the DB that you're about to make a break, so he has a better chance to drive on your route and you have less separation. So an indicator would be changing either your speed, your stride, or your body language. And this is a drill that can help you get rid of that. So for example, if I'm running up into a break, like let's say it's a curl back to the quarterback to my left, and I raise up with my body language so I can have that explosive hip drop, that's an indicator. He's keyed in on our hips. So when my chest raises up, my hips will also raise, and he knows that I'm not running a fade. Every single route, we want to make that DB believe that we are running past him and running a go route. So that's number 1. Number 2, receivers will take off and they do these short, choppy steps before they break down. Maybe they're concerned with breaking on a specific foot, so they shorten their steps. That tells the DB a break's coming too, because that will slow you down. And then last but not least, a change in speed. Guys will come off really fast, and when they get to the last portion of their route, their speed frequency changes. I'm not saying you got to be 100% from start to finish, but it should be the same frequency. So like 90-95%, it should be the same speed, drop. So this drill works on that. So all you're going to do is you're going to take off for about a 20 to 30 yard run. Try to go as fast as we possibly can with control. So I would say like anywhere from like 95 to like 97%. Don't go 100% like you're running a 40-yard dash. So you're going to go. This drill is best accomplished with a partner, and he is going to yell drop. If If you don't have a partner to do this with you, I recommend setting up a series of cones, maybe about 15 yards apart, and you run and drop at the cone if you don't have a partner. But this drill is best used if you have a partner, anybody, to just yell drop or stop or whatever the case may be. So this drill is not so much about steps, and we'll show at full speed like I said, but you're going to take off running, and when you hear your partner yell drop or you see a cone, all you are going to do is drop with your hips, getting used to your hips changing levels, your center of gravity dropping to slow you down, not one of those indicators that we discussed. And in this drill, you don't know where you're necessarily braking unless you use cones. Again, like I said, it's best used with a partner. You don't know when the brake's going to happen. It's completely random. So your thought process is I am running until I hear drop. I don't know when the drop call is going to be, so I can't anticipate it. Do not anticipate the brake on this drill. So we're taking off. You hear drop, just drop, throttle down, take as many steps as you want, but you're going to come to a complete stop on this. So we're going to show you how this should look full speed. I recommend doing 6 reps of this drill to work on you guys getting comfortable using your hips to slow you down, that violent drop and change the center of your gravity to slow you down rather than shortening your strides, raising up, or changing your speed. Now fellas, this next drill is going to be called our 4-cone rocker step drill. So the reason why this is such a challenging drill for receivers is that when they decide to use a rocker step, and I'll explain what that is in a second for those of you that don't know what that is that they do not push to sell the second step of their rocker step. So you could use a rocker step on posts, corners, 10-yard outs, or maybe a 10-yard in. Any route where you have to cut off a 1 foot that's deeper than 8 yards. So let's say it's a post, for example. Let's say my QB's to the left. If I was running just a normal post, I'd break off my right foot and cut to the post. So a rocker step helps you sell a corner route or an outside braking route without actually having to run like a corner post. It's a way to get a DB to bite in the opposite direction. So you step in the direction you're going first. So I'm running up, I step inside first. This is the step that a lot of guys screw up on. They take a really big step and then they don't push off of this foot to sell the second cut because this step's too big. So they just step and the second step is weak. They don't necessarily sell it and a DB's not going to bite on that. It needs to be a short, sudden step, almost like you were stepping down, and you need to push off of the inside arch of your foot to sell like I'm going the opposite direction, and you need to sell with your hips. So this drill works on that push and selling with your hips. You need 4 cones set up at about a 45-degree angle. So this drill is going to be left, right, left, right. You're going to do that for 5 sets, and then you're going to switch it to where you go right, left, right, left. So just move that cone up and move that cone up again. So you need a starting point cone. We're going off of 2 steps to start the drill. Show it full speed in a second. Left foot's up, it's 1, bam. Second step is the first like rocker step, if you will. It's 2 consecutive back to back, and your hips are trying to sway with each cut, and you're pushing off the inside arch of your foot with each cut. So I'm here, 1, 2, 3, 4, coming out. If you have a quarterback, have him throw you a ball on like a post, a slant, however you want to think of it. But this is a great drill to work on your rocker step. Now we're going to show it full speed. Now this next drill, fellas, is going to work on a press release called a slide crossover release. So this is a great release that you guys can use when you have to run a slant route versus inside shade press. So why a lot of receivers struggle on this drill is because they do not push out of their cuts to separate from the DB. I think they do a great job getting separation, but they don't get out of their breaks fast enough, and that allows the DB to be able to recover on the route that they are ultimately running. So what's a slide release? Let's say I'm lined up here, orange cone right here is like the DB who's inside shade press. If I have to run a slant, I don't want to force the inside release because he's just going to get hands and reroute me inside. I want to attack his outside shoulder and outside hip. How I could do that is sliding to the outside on a 45-degree angle to make him think that I'm maybe just trying to slide and beat him with speed to the outside and run a fade. So what I would do is my inside foot would jab, I'd push off of it, slide, 1, 2, and then I get him to jump and cut back underneath. Where guys struggle is the second step of that 1, 2, very similar to the rocker step that we just discussed. So I do this 1, 2, a lot of guys do it, they stay in place, then they get out of their slant, and that allows the DB to recover. What we have to do is when I throw that 1, 2, I got to push off of that foot, just like the very first drill that we discussed, to create separation from that DB. So this drill, you're going to be zigzagging back and forth. You're going to go here, jab, and these cones are probably about 2 yards away on a 45-degree angle. You jab, slide, 1, 2, off of that you push into the next slide, 1, 2, and then you're out. So this is a great drill to work on that push in and out of your slide release. I recommend doing about 6 sets of this drill going each way. I'm going to show you how it should look full speed.